So for today's card, I'm going to be doing a Christmas card because I think it's about time to get started and I've got loads to make this year. So I'm going to start with my first one and show you guys how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use these wonderful winter glitter papers by My Mind's Eye. They're the same set I used for my last year's Christmas cards. But, you know, I didn't get through a whole lot of them and they're still just as gorgeous as ever. So I thought, well, I'll use them for this year's. So let's get started. I'm going to use this line of snowmen as a border at the bottom of the card. I've also taken this sheet as well. This sheet's quite good for making quick Christmas cards because you can use any one of these borders and make it the focal piece of your card. And for this one, I'm going to use this red border up here. Actually, no, I changed my mind. I'm going to use this red border because it's a tiny bit thinner and I think it's going to be thick enough just to use that. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that down. Okay, now I need to stick these down to my card. I'm using a green base card. Okay, so I'm just lining this up very carefully, and then I know I can make another card out of the other side of this because this is 12 by 12 paper. So I can make another card out of the bit that I'm going to cut off on this left hand side. So I'll set that aside. Then I need to adhere this one down. And as it's so thin, I'm just going to use some PVA glue, Tombow multi glue. Next up, what I want to do is cut out a circle out of this base card that includes part of this, the border that I've already put on. And to do that, I'm going to use my Colossal circle cutters. I've already worked out what size I want the circle to be, so I need the 5th circle. And I can see where it ends up here, so I'm not going to chop the snowman's head off. And just trim those last bits. Next, what I want to do to fill in that gap, I want to use a bit of acetate. And for that I need size 6 circle trimming out of the acetate. So I'm going to use just a bit of scrap paper. This is just normal bog standard printer copier paper, and that's just to protect my worktop. I'm going to use this Hero Arts cling stamp, which I use quite a lot. It's probably one of my favourite stamps for a background. So, whoopsie, never mind. So just ink up that stamp. Ooh, I almost forgot. Rub over with a dryer sheet and then your embossing powder will just stick to the bit you want it to stick to. I don't have a block big enough for this stamp, so this works just as well for me. I think with a more detailed stamp that wouldn't work, but it's fine for this one. Sprinkle on some white embossing powder and then heat set. Okay, next we need to just stick this to the card. So what I'm going to do is just going to run a line of my Tombow glue around the edge of the circle on the inside of the card. And then I can just set that in that window. And set that aside to dry. Okay, then we take this piece that we cut out, because because I need to use this again now. I'm just going to try and remove this because it's going to get in the way of my stamping otherwise. So I need to stamp on the back. So first up, you need to use your embossing buddy or your dryer sheet, whatever you have. And then we can stamp with our Christmas stamp. Just grab a block that's the right size. First mark ink. Tap off the excess and heat set. Okay, just leave that a second for it to stop being tacky, because when the embossing powder is still wet, it will stick to everything. So as soon as it's actually set, it won't go anywhere and it won't stick to anything, which is fine. I need to go back to my circle cutters, and I need to cut this out just around it, so it's just big enough. I think 4 will do it. 4 from the center. Yeah. Next, I just need to adhere this down to here. And for that, I'm just going to use some tape runner and just center this as best I can and adhere down. Just want to round these corners at the bottom. Okay, to finish the card, we just need to do some faux stitching just to lift it, because there's quite a lot of green there. And I'm just going to add a bit of faux stitching here and there. I'm just going to add a few stickles, just because this is so glittery here and this is just empty of anything, so I wanted to just link it all together. So I'm just going to add some stickles blobs, just randomly. I don't know if you can see, but some of them have got peaks on them, and what I want to do is just flatten them out. So all I'm going to do is take the card, open it up, and then flick it underneath. Now you can see they've gone all rounded. There's no kind of peaks on the top of them. And that's today's card. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye!